I wish I was reading this instead of recording this video. The last book we have is potentially the most beautiful book I have ever seen. Hello, my name is Katie. This is my third time filming this video. The first time I filmed my blinds for 30 minutes, and the second time my phone decided to stop recording 5 minutes into the video. So this is the third and hopefully last time I will be showing you all of the books that I bought but have not read. Will I have intelligent things to say about these books? No, I have not read them. But the YouTube algorithm loves hauls, so here we all are. I actually have some really cool books to show you. It should be interesting because there's interesting covers, things to look at, interesting premises, new releases. Okay, the first thing I have to show you are two books that I found at an independent bookstore in Oregon while I was visiting my brother. These are books that I have been looking for used for a really long time and haven't been able to find them, so I splurged and bought them new. The first one is We Ride Upon Sticks by Quinn Berry. This is about a sporting team. I want to say it's lacrosse or hockey or soccer. They make a deal with the devil. Hijinks ensue. Can't wait. The second book I picked up at that bookstore is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I really want to read all of the Women's Prize for Fiction winners for the past few years. I read last year's Piranesi. I'm going to be reading this year's once it's announced, and this is the 2020 Women's Prize for Fiction winner, so I'm really excited to read this. I think I would be reading it even if it didn't win, because the premise is so cool, and also this cover is so beautiful. This follows William Shakespeare's family. Shakespeare is in it, but he's not mentioned by name, so we're kind of shifting the focus to other members of his family, which I think is a really, really cool concept. I read a few quotes in this, and it seems kind of dense, so I'm interested to see what I think. Then I bought the #1 most banned book of last year, which is Genderqueer. I didn't realize this when I bought it, but this is actually a graphic novel, and I really love the art style and the color palette in this. So I'm really interested to see why this book was banned and what content it contains. This is about the author who identifies as non-binary and asexual, and I'm really, really excited to read this memoir in graphic novel form. And support a book that was banned, because we don't support banning books. Not on this channel. I finally caved, and I signed up for Book of the Month for this book. Nina LaCour's adult debut, Yerba Buena. I wish I was reading this instead of recording this video. Nina LaCour wrote one of my favorite books of all time, Watch Over Me, and she usually writes young adults. Young adult isn't a genre that I usually do very well with, so I was just so happy to see that Nina LaCour has come out with an adult debut. I cannot wait. I honestly don't really know much of what this is about. I heard Nina LaCour had written an adult book, and I bought it. That's that. The last new book that I bought is A Man and His Cat. This is the first manga I've ever bought for myself, and it's about a man and his cat. Wholesome. Yay! Next we have An Unhinged Woman. My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. This is about a woman who decides to sleep for a year. She's super depressed and decides to just sleep. I love this cover. I think it's beautiful, incredible, genius, and I am very happy to be reading about more unhinged women. Next. This cover makes my brain so happy. Look at it. It's got a hole in the cover. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Hadden. This is about a boy who is neurodivergent. I believe he's autistic, and there is a suspicious death of a dog in his neighborhood, and he's investigating that death. This cover makes my brain incredibly happy, so hopefully the words inside will as well. The Black Flamingo. This is about a boy growing up. He's gay, and he finds his way into drag. This book is written in verse, which is something that I've been wanting to read more of, because the last book I read that was part prose, part verse was Split Tooth, and it is now one of my favorite books of all time. So I have really high hopes for this. Ready Player One is a recommendation from my brother. I'm reading all of my family's favorite books right now, and this is my brother's favorite book. So Mike, thank you for the recommendation. This is a perfect book for Mike because he makes video games for a living. Dream job. He's really cool. This book is about an augmented reality video game, and the creator has come up with this competition. There's Easter eggs in the game itself. You have to find all of the clues, and if you win, you get his fortune and his power. So, thank you, Mike. This is a romance. I do not read a lot of romance. I believe this is also YA. I don't read a lot of YA. This is Sick Kids in Love. It says on the cover, they don't die in this one, which I think is hilarious. A little nod to The Vault in Our Stars. Books Unbound, Ariel and Raylene's podcast was what made me want to read this one. I'll read you the inside flap because it's really, really cute. Isabel has one rule: no dating. It's easier, it's safer, it's better for the other person. She's got issues, she's got secrets, she's got rheumatoid arthritis. But then she meets another sick kid and they fall in love. So, very, very cute. Just look at this embrace. It's so intimate. I'm hoping that will bring some joy and a little bit of romance into my life. Next, A Good Marriage by Kimberly Mcrate. I don't usually read or enjoy domestic thrillers, but Kayla from Books and Lala said that this one was really, really good in a recent video, and I trust Kayla. So I picked it up. We shall find out if I enjoy it or if I should stop picking up things from genres that I don't usually like, which is probably what I should be doing. Okay, moving on. This book, I have seen the cover and the title many, many times and did not want to pick it up for no reason. I thought it was going to be like Normal People, and I loved Normal People, so I don't know why I wouldn't want to pick it up based on this cover and title, but it's not. It's about a bank robbery. There are a little cast of characters who get held hostage during this bank robbery, and we're following all of their lives, and we're getting to know all of them. I'm very glad that I saw somebody giving the blurb of this, because I think it could be right up my alley. But I can't tell you anything more intelligent than that, because I haven't read any of these books. Are these videos incredibly boring for you? I really hope not. Next! The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Except for the first few, these are all used, by the way, so that's why some of them look like library books, because they are old library books that the libraries decided weren't good enough for them anymore. They're good enough for me. Due date, February 23rd, 2022. They returned it on time. I do want to show you the book under the dust jacket for this one because it's so beautiful. There's these little birdies. I just think it's beautiful. This book is about Addie LaRue. She kind of makes a deal with the devil and is able to live forever, but no one can remember her. So she's kind of going through life, many lives, without ever being able to make connections with people, which sounds pretty awful. I've been told that this book will make me cry. We shall find out. Next, we have a book I'm very confused about. Confused because I vaguely recognize it, but I don't know why it's on my TBR. But I never put anything on my TBR unless I'm super compelled to read it, like drop everything I'm reading right now and pick it up. It's just that I put a lot of things on my TBR, so sometimes I forget what some of them are by the time I'm able to find them used. I think this may have been pitched as something Sally Rooney-esque from a male author. I think this may have been pitched as the male version of Sally Rooney, but I could be wrong. It's A Bright Ray of Darkness by Ethan Hawke. If you know anything about this book, let me know in the comments. Apparently it's about a guy who's making his Broadway debut and his marriage implodes. It sounds kind of Sally Rooney-esque, so we'll see. I picked this one up because John Green recommended it, and it is an author that I have loved before. This is Tough by Paul Beatty. Paul Beatty wrote The White Boy Shuffle, which is an amazing book, and kind of fell off my radar because I read it my freshman year of university, and now my copy is at my parents' house, so I don't have it. And of course, if things aren't in my direct eye line, I completely forget about them. So I never thought to pick up anything else by this author, so I'm really happy that I saw John Green's video from however long ago saying that this is one of his favorite books. And I don't know anything more than that about it. And this book I also picked up because of Kayla from Books and Lala. It is Tinfoil Butterfly by Rachel Eve Moulton. This was pitched as like a darker version of Watch Over Me. Watch Over Me, one of my favorite books of all time. So I picked it up. This cover terrifies me. Look at it. There's an eyeball. I don't know what it is. It just, I just really don't like it. So this might have to go in the freezer. Who knows? Ooh, next we have two books that I picked up because of the Books Unbound podcast that Ariel and Raylene have. They were recommended for people who are looking for books that have weird structure. And they do. There's a lot of web browser pages in here and different content. I can't remember if this was the one that was supposed to have an app and a QR code, and there was some audio or video extra. This is apparently about a woman who was murdered. She's the daughter of this really famous director, and this investigative journalist goes on a spellbinding quest to figure out what happened to her. The other book I picked up because of the Books Unbound podcast is a little something different. This is a love story told from 14 different viewpoints, but none of the viewpoints are actually the couple themselves. We're able to see their love story without hearing either of their perspectives. Apparently, one of those viewpoints is a bench. What was I gonna do? Not pick up a book where a bench narrates part of it? Nah. I love books with weird structure, so I am so thrilled to read a book where a bench narrates part of it. That sounds absolutely perfect to me. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh, I only have 2 left to show you, and they're both gorgeous. So this is Latsoe, and this book I've also been looking for a really long time, and I also have to show you what's under the dust jacket because it's freaking gorgeous. Look at those little doggies. I don't know if they're dogs or wolves, but they're beautiful. And this is written by Darcy Little Badger. This book is about Latsoe, and she can raise the ghosts of dead animals. Say no more, I'm hooked. I will be reading this as soon as possible. The last book we have is potentially the most beautiful book I have ever seen. Let me show you why we broke up. And I know you may be saying, Katie, what's so special about this book? This does not look most beautiful book of all time beautiful to me. Just you wait. Because as soon as you open it up, you're greeted by this beautiful illustration. And not only are you greeted by this beautiful illustration, we also get, there's this beautiful little picture of a box. On the box it says you either have the feeling or you don't. And this is what it says. This is the box, Ed. Inside is everything. 2 bottle caps, a movie ticket from Greta in the Wild, a note from you, a box of matches, your protractor, Joan's book, the stolen sugar, a toy truck, those ugly earrings, a comb from the motel, and the rest of it. This is it, Ed. The whole story of why we broke up. And if you thought it was over, don't you worry, because the back end pages are another beautiful painting. Just look at the illustrations. They're so pretty. Okay, and now the moment you've all been waiting for. What does the actual book look like? Let me show you. These little rose petals. How pretty is that? It's also such a hefty book. I seriously can't wait to read this book. I have 2 little things to show you before I leave that I also bought while I was in Oregon visiting my brother. They're just so cute. I couldn't not show you. The first one is this adorable little black walnut jewelry box. Well, it's just a box, but I'm using it for jewelry because I really only have like these earrings and 1 more pair of earrings and then like a couple of necklaces. So now I have a little box to put them all in. And then the other thing I got is this adorable little fox painting. It's so cute. I'm making a gallery wall above my desk that I can look at while I work, and that's gonna go up there with all the rest of my pieces. Those are all the books that I have acquired this month. Actually, all of these came in over the past week, so very exciting. Feels like Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next Friday with some more substantive content. If you liked this video, I think you'll like this one. And if you'd like to stick around to hear all of my thoughts on these books after I've actually read them, please consider subscribing. Until then, happy reading, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye.